All right, guys, today's lesson is on multiples and the least common multiple. So make sure you have your notes out and let's go ahead and get started, and a pencil. All right, first of all, let's talk about what a multiple is. This is on your notes. So a multiple, the multiples of a number are what you get when you multiply that number by other numbers, or what you get when you multiply numbers by other numbers. So for example, the multiples of 5 are 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and so on, because you're multiplying 5 times 1, 5 times 2, times 3, and so on, okay? Our best example of the multiples is your multiplication chart, okay? If you look at the multiplication chart, these are all the multiples. So these are my multiples of 5 right here, and 6, and so on. So this is our best example of the multiples. Multiples, multiplication, okay? So make sure you write out some multiples there, right, on your notes. Again, pause the video if I'm talking too fast. All right, so on your notes, first thing I want you to do is I want you to list all the multiples of 2 up to 30. Up to 30, so don't go past 30. And then list all the multiples of 3 up to 30. Don't go past 30. So pause the video and come back when you have all of those multiples listed. All right, so these are all my multiples. So are you noticing the difference between yesterday we talked about factors and then today is multiples? Multiples is like multiplication. So the multiples will always be higher than the number we started with. So if I'm looking at the multiples of 2, here they are, up to 30. Okay, the multiples of 3 up to 30. So let's look and see what they have in common. They've got 6's in common. They've got 18 in common. And 24. And 30. So these are all my common multiples. Okay, these are my common multiples. So the least common multiple, the one that they have, did I miss 16? Nope, there is no 16 here. That should be 18. That should be 18 there, guys. So the least common multiple, that is the smallest number they have in common. So the least common multiple is the smallest multiple they have in common. So write that down. The least common multiple would be 6. So the least common multiple is 6. Okay? So, whereas yesterday we were looking at the greatest factor they have in common, today we're looking at the smallest multiple that they have in common. Okay? All right, so let's do some examples here. My numbers are off the board. Let's move them. All right, so let's look at, you have these 4 problems. So I'm going to do 2 of them with you. So the multiples of 5 and the multiples of 4. When you do this, you can look at the multiplication chart, or you can kind of just think in your mind. So in my mind, I might just think about the multiples of 5, 5, 10, 15, 20. Oh, stop. I know this is a multiple of 20. It's the smallest one, so LCM equals 20. Okay? All right, if I go with this one, I'm going to go with the biggest number first, and I'm going to look at those multiples. So 6, 12. Oh, I can already stop, because 12 is also a multiple of 4, because 4 times 3 gives me 12, and 6 times 2 gives me 12. So the least common multiple here is 12. Okay. All right, I want you to do these 2 problems. Now, just because there's 3 problems, don't let it freak you out. You're still going to go through the same thing. You're just looking at 2 additional numbers. So why don't you, let's see, how about I do 3 with you, and then I'll have you do 4. Oh, I'll do 4, and you're going to come back because this one's a little bit easier. All right, 4, 6, and 10. So I'm going to start with my highest number, 10. 10, 20, 30. 30 is a multiple of 6, but not 40. Start 40. 40 is a multiple of 4, but not 6. 50. 60. Ooh, 60 is a multiple of 6. Is it a multiple of 40? Yes, it is. Yes, it is, because 4 times 15 equals 60, and 6 times 10. So the least common multiple here equals 60. All right? You pause the video, and I want you to do 3 by yourself. Make sure and pause it, and come back when you have your answer. All right, check your answer. You should have gotten 24. Again, I think the multiples are much easier to figure out than the factors, because you can just look at your multiplication chart or know those multiples. Now, the reason that we use multiples, first of all, is when we find common denominators when we are adding and subtracting, you need to have common multiples when you add and subtract. Also, sometimes in word problems, multiples are something that we need to look at. So let's look at it in a word problem. Matt goes hiking every 12 days. I'm going to underline this, and swimming every 6 days. Okay, so every 12 days he's hiking, every 6 days he's swimming. He did both exercises today, so how many days from now will he swim and bike on the same day? So for hiking, he's going hiking on the 12th day. The next day he goes hiking 12 days later would be the 24th day. The next day would be the 36th. So let's kind of stop and see if we've got anything going on here. Swimming. He goes swimming on the 6th day. The next day he would go on the 12th because 6 times 2 is 12. So when again are they going to hike? They're going to hike every 12th day together. Excuse me. They're going to hike and swim every 12th day. They're going to hike and swim every 12th day. Okay? All right, let's look at the next one. You've got this one. This is number 6 on your paper there, on your notes. Boxes are stacked 12 inches tall, are being stacked next to boxes that are 18 inches tall. What is the shortest height at which the two stacks will be the same? Okay, so we're stacking books every 12 inches and another boxes every 18 inches. I want to know when they're going to be the same. So let's start with my 18 here. So 18. So I start with 18. The next, if I add 18 to it, if I have another set of 18, that's going to be 36. If I add another set of 18, this is 18 times 1, 18 times 2, 18 times 3. Let's see, 18 times 3, 8 is, okay, let's stop and see if we have anything in common yet. The boxes that are stacked 12 inches, first set is 12. If I put another stack of 12, that's going to be 24. If I put another stack of 24, that's going to be 36. Ding, 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 ding. That's what they have in common there. Okay, so they will be 36 inches high. Oops. Okay, 36 inches high. All right, let's go to another one. All right, I want you to try these two. Okay, there are two different ones. I want you to pause the video and come back when you have your answer. All right, let's check those answers. If you look at the first one, so the national capital has a tour every 15 minutes. Every 15 minutes. So that means it's on the 15th minute, then the 30th, 45, 60. Okay. The White House leaves every 20 minutes. So 20, 40, 60. They have 60 in common. So every 60 minutes they will have the same tour. Both tours will start every 60 minutes. Okay? Now let's look at the next one. Pierce swims every 4th day and Josh swims every 3rd. If they both swim on the 1st day of the month, what's the date they will swim together? So if you look, Pierce is every 4th, so he swims on the 4th, the 8th, and the 12th. Josh swims on the 3rd, the 6th, the 9th, and 12th. So every 12 days, they will swim together, okay? But the question is, let's make sure we answer that question. If they both swam today, so they swam today on the 1st of the month, every 12 days, so that means we're going to count 12 days from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the next day they swim will be on the 13th. Okay, so make sure, you see the difference between that question there? They swim every 12 days, but I want to know the exact date. That would be on the 13th of whatever this month is. Okay? All right, you've got some problems too. So you've got your exit slip there. You've got 16 questions there. I'm going to move this one up so you can see it. Ooh, there's a lot there. Let me move this one up. All right, you got a lot of questions there. Let me move those up. All right, so 1 through 4, you're simply telling me what is the least common multiple. What's the least common multiple? And then 5 and 6 are some word problems. I want to see how you do with number 6. There's a lot to do on 6. I'm going to see what you get with that one, okay? All right, if you have any questions with that, please let me know. Make sure if you need to, you can use your multiplication chart. And If you have any questions, let me know, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day.